Good evening, I'm Ian Hannamansing. Tonight, a BC First Nation announces a horrific discovery: the remains of 215 children who attended a residential school.
The remains are many, many years old, decades.
We'll look at the reaction across Canada. A warning for Manitobans who refuse to follow the rules. Quebec loosens, Montreal lets loose.
It's just great. Live again, let's live, eh?
Plus, restaurant owners get ready to reopen.
It feels like we're getting very close to the end of this.
And Michelle Williams opens up to Tom Power.
You just feel like you're just swimming in a sea of darkness.
A raw look at mental health and the cost of fame. This is The National. We begin tonight with a newly developing chapter in a disturbing story from Canada's past. Fresh pain for so many haunted by the history of residential schools. A BC First Nation says it's found the remains of more than 200 students at the former site of one residential school. Over 8 decades, it housed hundreds of Indigenous children. And the National Truth and Reconciliation Commission estimated that 50 deaths occurred there. That number, though, may have been understated. Greg Rasmussen starts our coverage.
The Tk'emlúps te Secwepemc First Nation isn't revealing the exact location, only that it was somewhere near this school, which opened in 1893 and was operated as a residential school by the Catholic Church until 1969.
And it was devastating to hear this. The remains are many, many years old, decades.
Few details were released today, but Chief Roseanne Casimir says remains of 215 individuals were located.
It's a reality, and it's something that we do not want to have, under the carpet in any shape or form. We want to, heal with our people.
This 1962 documentary attempted to show the Kamloops Residential School in a positive light, but survivors later told of the psychological and physical torment, including punishment such as being hit with a strap for speaking their own language. Indigenous leaders say the finding is more evidence of a painful history.
This discovery has, shaken our Indigenous communities to the very core.
The news prompted a minute's silence in the House of Commons.
The residential school system was a national program. It was a national institution right across Canada. So if this happened at Kamloops, you can be rest assured it happened in a lot of the other residential schools.
Canada's Truth and Reconciliation Commission found thousands of children at residential schools were unaccounted for over several decades. Today's discovery may be related to those long considered missing. Chief Casimir says ground-penetrating radar was used to locate the site. No access was given to images showing what was found or how it was analyzed.
My mother went to residential school and she survived, barely.
In Vancouver, an impromptu memorial to remember those who suffered at the schools.
It's triggering because, like everybody says, it could have been our life.
The RCMP, BC's Coroner Service, and the federal government have been notified, and talks are underway about what will happen next. Greg Rasmussen, CBC News, Vancouver.
For many Indigenous people, this story will be especially upsetting, especially those dealing with trauma. The Indian Residential School Survivors Society is available toll-free day or night, and so is the Hope for Wellness hotline. It offers support to Indigenous peoples across Canada 24/7 in both official languages, as well as in Cree, Ojibwe, and Inuktitut. Let's turn to the COVID-19 story now. Public Health Canada releasing its updated modeling, and it says overall the country is bringing down the variant-fueled third wave. Restrictions and vaccinations are having an impact. The rate of new cases is less than half of the April peak. If Canada stays the course, that trend is projected to continue. But if person-to-person contacts increase, a surge could come almost immediately. That point underlined by Canada's chief public health doctor.
We've had a few experiences in the past that has led us to wanting to be more precautionary.
So according to the modeling, lockdown-style restrictions can't be safely relaxed until the end of June, but that is the broad national picture. Each province is dealing with its own realities. Many Quebecers are ready to let loose tonight in that province. One of the strictest pandemic health measures is finally over. Allison Northcott is in Montreal. And Allison, give us a sense of what lifting the curfew is looking like.
Well, just take a look behind me. Nothing could stop people from coming out tonight and for being on the patios for the first time in months, despite the chilly weather. There is a lot of excitement here in Montreal.
Bonne saison, bon été.
Quebecers have waited so long for moments like this.
Being out here and having beers with my friends is like freedom again.
It feels like that's the end of the tunnel. It's been a long year, and there's hope.
The nighttime curfew, in place since January, now lifted.
We've been talking about this day for a very long time. I even forgot what it's like to be outside of my house after 9:30 p.m. or something.
Even Premier François Legault took advantage of the reopened restaurant patios.
We can start coming back to normal life. Thank you.
Other changes today: backyard gatherings of up to 8 people are allowed, and arenas can admit up to 2,500 people, which means the Montreal Canadiens will play Saturday's game in front of real live fans. But those seats come at steep prices.
Hopefully that it's, people that are gonna be screaming really loud.
This step towards normal feels for many like a big moment.
It's just great. Live again, let's live, eh?
These friends live in a private seniors residence. Jeanette Balduc is eager to see her family, but says it's still important to be cautious.
You have to go slowly, you can't go too fast. You can't jump a bridge, right? So you have to just follow what they're going to be telling you.
The main turning point was the vaccination.
This critical care doctor says going slow is the right approach to keep cases under control while vaccination continues.
Of course, people can gather and they can, be on terraces and have fun. That's okay, but it doesn't mean that they have to stress the system and try to, how many people can I see, during the weekend?
He says health officials will have to act fast to control any outbreaks, and citizens have to do their part by following the rules and getting fully vaccinated.
So that hockey game with fans in the stands, that'll be exciting, but that's tomorrow. Allison, what does the rest of this night look like?
Well, tonight, for the people on these patios, they can stay out as late as they want with the curfew now lifted. So even after the patios and the restaurants close, they don't have to go straight home. And that is a luxury many in Quebec have not had since January.
All right, Allison Northcott, thank you.
You're welcome.
So as Quebecers gather once more, Nova Scotians are now set to do the same.
This wave is being crushed in almost record time when you look at what's happening across the country.
The plan is to lift restrictions in 4 phases, with the first set for this Wednesday. Bar and restaurant patios will open with rules for physical distancing, and non-essential retail stores can operate at 25% capacity. Nova Scotia reported 40 new COVID cases today. That's down from a peak of 227 just 3 weeks ago. In Manitoba, though, the third wave still in full force, and it's expected to worsen before it subsides. Police sent a message to rule breakers today. Ignoring tickets for illegal gatherings can now get you arrested. Cameron McIntosh shows us rising tensions and desperate measures.
A Canadian Armed Forces C-130 Hercules arriving in Winnipeg, specially equipped to carry critical COVID patients away to other provinces as Manitoba's numbers climb.
We're trusting Manitobans to be aware of the seriousness of what's going on right now.
The province tightening restrictions once more. Not an official lockdown, but
it is a stay-at-home order, essentially, without actually saying stay-at-home order.
Ambiguous? To many, yes. Kids can't go to school, you can't meet up with a friend, but you can still go to the mall. And many are still going to work. Today we learned of more than 70 workplace outbreaks since March. New rules will make it easier to close them.
I think it would have been better if we had targeted it earlier, but the fact that they're addressing it, I think it's positive.
Well, you see the delicate balance here.
The Premier defends Manitoba's restrictions as severe. Enforcement the strongest in Canada.
You guys do not promote what health is actually about.
As another anti-restriction rally was held in Winnipeg, the province issued arrest warrants against 6 repeat offenders. Winnipeg's mayor, meanwhile, wants tighter restrictions.
Regrettably, our provincial government hasn't taken
the actions many have been calling for.
Manitoba is also pushing back its 70% vaccination goal to late June over Moderna delays and softening demand. This walk-in clinic today helped coax some reluctant people in.
I'm really scared of needles and it didn't hurt at all.
Before I was scared, well, I'm good now.
Still, Canada's Public Health Agency predicts cases will climb here, as the province says restrictions will take time.
We've got hospitalizations that'll still increase over the next week or two, and ICU visits.
Right now, Manitoba is expanding ICU capacity to more than double pre-pandemic levels, reassigning staff, canceling surgeries, and continuing to send patients out of province. Cameron McIntosh, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Despite the challenges now, Ottawa's new modeling shows we may be able to drop our masks by the end of the summer. But that depends on 75% of eligible Canadians getting not just 1, but 2 doses of vaccine. And as Christine Birak shows us, the push to get that second shot to more people is growing.
Please keep moving. Based on supply, provinces are now lining up to tell Canadians you can roll up your sleeve for another jab.
We're now in a position to accelerate second doses in Ontario.
As BC, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba speed up their bookings, people in Ontario will have a choice. Keep the appointment you have or rebook it.
We're reducing the time between your first and second dose, down from the current 16 weeks to as soon as 4 weeks after your first shot.
But when you'll get that second dose largely depends on how old you are, when you received your first shot, and which vaccine you got.
If you wish to do it within the shortened time period, if you're eligible for that, then you can certainly go ahead and arrange that.
Those over 80 can start calling or going online starting Monday and move up their appointments. 70 plus will follow 2 weeks later. By the end of June, people can start rebooking second doses based on when they got their first dose. And second shots of AstraZeneca can be rescheduled 10 to 12 weeks after your first appointment.
I think we should honestly be doing 70 plus as of Monday.
Some doctors say older people have already waited long enough.
We have the capacity and we have the ability to be vaccinating our seniors today.
Preliminary data from a large Canadian study suggests while those over 70 should be at the front of the line for second doses, a single shot of Pfizer or Moderna was about 70% effective 5 to 6 weeks later in preventing symptoms, hospitalization, and death.
The message to younger adults is, for those who have only received 1 dose and are waiting for the second one, just hang tight. You are getting protection.
But scientists add the variant first identified in India cannot be underestimated. Everyone must continue following public health advice. If all goes to plan, most Canadians could be fully vaccinated by the end of this summer. Christine Birak, CBC News, Toronto.
Canada's health minister says that she'll consult with the provinces before acting on expert advice that quarantine rules for travelers to this country should be relaxed.
I do want to have the conversation with the other provincial health ministers before we make any commitments to changing our stance. I do think the report is very valuable and helpful.
The government's advisors on how the virus spreads said measures like mandatory hotel quarantines are unfair and unnecessary. Justin Trudeau is expected to attend the G7 summit in the UK in person. It would be the first time he's left the country in more than a year. Ashley Burke shows us why the Prime Minister is taking the risk.
This was the last time the Prime Minister stepped foot outside the country. Now, 15 months later, Justin Trudeau was stepping back onto the world stage, meeting in person with other leaders at a key time.
This G7 summit comes at a really important moment with a new U.S. president, with a global pandemic which is raging in most parts of the world, and with the challenges of China and Russia. And it's really important that the leaders of the leading democracies come together and communicate a single message of solidarity.
This morning, Trudeau spoke with the host of this year's G7, Boris Johnson. Afterwards, Downing Street confirmed to CBC News Trudeau will attend the UK summit in person next month. The Prime Minister's office wouldn't verify the trip, but last month Trudeau hinted he wanted to go.
I'm certainly hopeful that we'll be able to attend in person. I know there are continuing to be restrictions and concerns.
That was criticized at the time by the Conservatives in the House of Commons.
International travel, it's not the time for that unless it's FOMO for the Prime Minister missing out on a cocktail party or some sort of photo op.
But the NDP says the Prime Minister is an essential worker.
And I think Canadians understand that. This is an essential part of his job.
World leaders, like everyone else, have adapted to meeting virtually. But a former personal representative for both Trudeau and former Prime Minister Stephen Harper at the G7 meetings said private talks between leaders on the side are often more important than what's said publicly around the table.
This is a serious meeting. They often go well into the night and into the early morning hours. So it's important that these discussions take place. The world is in a crisis.
Trudeau, who has only received one dose of the vaccine, said on Thursday if he does attend, he will follow all health guidelines, including hotel quarantine. Ashley Burke, CBC News, Ottawa.
Japan has extended a COVID state of emergency to June 20th. That is just a month before the Tokyo Olympics are set to start. But as Carolyn Dunn tells us, even amid calls for cancellation, Canadian athletes are preparing as best they can.
A jab in the arm and a dream. This is how Canadian athletes are preparing for the Tokyo Olympics. Alison Beveridge is looking to add to her bronze medal win in Rio 5 years ago.
When push comes to shove, it's about the racing, and we just want to be able to have the opportunity to go out there and see what we can do, and grateful that it's going ahead given everything going on in the world.
The global pandemic is looking to derail the Olympics a second time. Japan has extended its state of emergency due to a stubborn COVID surge in some parts. Its vaccine rollout is running way behind. So some Japanese doctors are calling for the games to be canceled, worried about contagious variants, especially the prospect of a new one. It will be called the Tokyo Olympics variant, the head of Japan's doctors union says. Holding the Olympics would be condemned for a century as a foolish act. But the show is still set to go on, even if spectators are less and less likely to be allowed. Canada's Olympic Committee says it remains confident in the science behind that decision, and by combining a reduced and fully vaccinated mission with other protocols, says the Games will be safe.
We've been working for the last year and a bit with, a mask and goggles and gloves every day, so it's become second nature for me. It's quite comfortable now.
For athletes like Paralympic rugby player Travis Marao, well, it's been a weird year.
Training has been way different than any other year. It's been over a year since we've had an international game against another country.
Many Canadian athletes will go to the Games without having competed recently, but adaptable and ready.
I really do think that there's going to be an opportunity for the world to feel that they're getting into the light at the end of the tunnel when we start watching the Olympics.
If the coronavirus cooperates. Carolyn Dunn, CBC News, Calgary.
Canada is pledging $25 million in aid to Palestinians in Gaza and the West Bank.
This is, an important response in the immediacy following the cessation of hostilities.
Ottawa says most of the money will go towards basic needs on the ground, while $5 million will be earmarked for peace-building initiatives in the region. The announcement comes a week after a ceasefire ended the conflict. Canadian cattle ranchers have an eye on Washington. They're worried the U.S. could bring back a grocery store label for beef that requires it to show the country of origin. As Kyle Bax tells us, that can get complicated since Canadian beef often crosses the border for processing.
There's no shortage of work for Jill Harvey looking after 250 cattle on her ranch. Top of mind on this day, renewed concerns the U.S. may reignite a trade war by bringing back mandatory country of origin labeling known as MCOOL.
When it came in was the significant price drop right away. There was such an impact.
The labeling was in place for several years beginning in 2008. It required grocery stickers to explain where livestock was born, raised, and slaughtered. Decade-low prices are spurring renewed interest.
We're going to do it. We're going to bring country of origin labeling back for beef, mandatory country of origin labeling. It's absolutely essential.
Last time the World Trade Organization struck it down because it violated international trade law. Still, the new U.S. Secretary of Agriculture made it clear during his confirmation hearing he isn't deterred. Mandatory labeling costs beef and pork producers about $1 billion per year. Trade experts say the industry has to be proactive to avoid a resurrection of the policy.
Well, certainly the potential for economic damage to the industry is akin to what we experienced last time.
Canada does have allies south of the border, including packing plants and feedlot operators.
Mandatory country of origin labeling is a zombie issue that is going to continue to be perpetrated and continue to be promoted by small segments of U.S. cattle industry who want more government intervention, who want more protectionism.
Considering how much beef and pork moves back and forth across the border, the last thing Canadian ranchers want is disruptions.
It's such a good relationship. Be ashamed to have to go into a trade war any further and have retaliation.
She'd much rather the Americans put the issue to rest. Kyle Bax, CBC News, near Olds, Alberta.
Doctors in India say they're grappling with a terrible side effect in some COVID-19 patients.
This is beyond anything in our wildest nightmares.
Next on The National, what we know about a dangerous fungus infecting COVID survivors. As restrictions in Canada begin to ease, restaurants are ready to welcome you back.
There's a real palpable sense of relief and excitement.
We'll talk to two owners about the challenge ahead.
Say my name.
And a former Destiny's Child opens up about struggling with depression while in one of the world's biggest music groups.
I remember going to our manager at the time and I said, I think this is depression.
By Michelle Williams is sharing her story now. We're back in 2. Welcome back. India is finally starting to see a gradual decline in COVID cases, but doctors are battling another deadly condition. Salima Shivji looks at the surge of black fungus and why medical experts there are so worried.
As India's punishing second wave swept through hospital after hospital, another rare and often deadly infection was taking hold in some. Patients who survived COVID-19 only to be struck again, plagued by an infection, bringing blurred vision and debilitating headaches.
These are patients who are in post-corona period, say after 2 weeks of recovery, who are immunocompromised.
The steroid drugs used to beat back COVID-19, beating down the immune system too, helping the fungus spawn. It attacks mainly those with diabetes who are prone to infections and causes deep despair. The main treatment is surgery to cut away the infected parts of the body. This man's friend had his jawbone removed. Doctors say he'll lose an eye too, the only way to save his life.
Our strategy.
India's prime minister has called the infection a new challenge that needs to be tackled. Several states have declared black fungus epidemics as the official number of those infected hovers near 12,000.
This is beyond anything on our wildest nightmares.
It's left fungal infection experts like Ilan Schwartz watching in horror.
It is happening on a scale that is completely, without any modern precedent.
India was already at a disadvantage. The rate of black fungus before COVID was 70 times higher than the rest of the world because so many Indians suffer from uncontrolled diabetes. With antifungal medication now in short supply, there's one slim bit of good news.
This is not a contagious disease. People don't pass it from one individual to another.
But there's also no immediate way out, with widespread vaccination still far off and COVID case counts still so high. Salima Shivji, CBC News, Vancouver.
The scientific name for this black fungus is mucormycosis, or mucor. Dr. Samir Gupta is here to tell us more about it. He is a respirologist and he is in Toronto. Dr. Gupta, where is this fungus coming from?
The fungus is ubiquitous, Ian. It's everywhere in the environment, particularly in decaying vegetation. So all of us have been exposed to it, but it only affects people who have a weak immune system and are prone to getting sick.
A few weeks ago, we reported your cousin in India had COVID-19. It turns out that he got mucor and died. Tell us a little more about that.
He had mild COVID, Ian, and like many people in India, he got steroids very early. As a result of that, he was on steroids for a long period of time, got quite sick from his COVID, and just as he was improving from the COVID, he developed some swelling over the face, and within a couple of days, it became very clear that he had mucor in his sinuses. Unfortunately, that progressed very quickly, as it does. It was sort of a mad scramble to get him to a hospital where he could have surgery. By that time, it had progressed, affected his eye. They had to remove his eye. And then it was a mad scramble to find antifungal medication, which unfortunately was only available on the black market. So it was a really, really tough situation in India right now.
Yeah, these stories sound so difficult. What about any significant concerns that this could become an issue here in Canada?
I think that we knew that mucor was much more common in India to begin with, and I think what we're seeing is a function of the fact that there's a lot of diabetes in India. A lot of people are getting high doses of steroids. That's changing now. People are using it more carefully, but I think it's a perfect storm sort of events convening and causing this problem. Unlikely that we're going to see this in the Western world.
Okay, Dr. Gupta, thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Next on The National, we'll visit 2 restaurant dining rooms that are back in business.
We're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, but there's still a long way to go.
2 owners on the excitement of finally reopening, and we'll hear what some of you have missed most about dining out. And later, the missing icebergs off the coast of Newfoundland. Is it a sign of what's to come? Much of the country is now moving towards reopening, but what that looks like depends on where you live. BC announced the first phase of its plan earlier this week, and that included the return of indoor dining. In Quebec, restrictions begin to ease tonight, and that starts with outdoor dining. So we wanted to hear from two restaurant owners in those provinces about this moment. Emma Cardarelli is the chef and owner of Nora Gray and Elena. And Matthew Senecal Junkier is the owner of Birds and the Beets and Honeybee Bruncheonette. And Emma Cardarelli joins us from one of her restaurants in Montreal, and in Vancouver, Matthew Senecal Junkier. Welcome to both of you.
Thanks.
Hi there, thanks.
I should point out we're pre-taping this interview because as most of our viewers watch it, the curfew will have been lifted in Montreal. Emma, hopefully you'll be really busy, but as we speak a few hours ahead of that, are you ready?
I mean, we're getting there. The tables are being set right now. We're about 2 hours ahead of time, so that's early for us. It's great.
And you're opening up outdoors, so I understood that meant a trip to the hardware store.
Yes, we're opening outdoors only initially. We had our terrace built over the last couple of days, and last night I was at Canadian Tire buying a generator for our patio lights, so it's all little last minute details.
And so, Matthew, a different story in Vancouver. The restaurants were allowed to have inside dining as of earlier this week, so you've been reopened. What's that like?
It's been amazing. There's a real palpable sense of relief and excitement that you can feel from customers kind of sliding back into a restaurant booth for the first time, sharing coffee with a friend, et cetera, et cetera. So I kind of forgot what having people in the space was like, and it's been really nice to have everyone back in.
Yeah, I went to a restaurant last night with a couple of friends who were watching the hockey game, and it really, I like you, I forgot how many things that I missed about that. I put word out on Twitter maybe yesterday asking people what they missed about restaurants across the country, and I want to play you some tape of some of the answers we got.
I really missed the feeling of being part of something bigger, being part of a community.
It's bumping into friends that I haven't seen for a long time who are sitting at a nearby table.
It's getting together with friends and family over a good meal and a glass of wine.
The smile of the strangers all around me, togetherness, sharing food.
So Matthew, I mean, you talked about this a little bit before, but tell me more about what some of your customers have been saying to you.
Well, I think people have kind of seeing it as a harbinger of this all coming to an end, sort of the light at the end of the tunnel. Part of what makes restaurants so special were, what we lost during COVID, being in an energetic room with people, sharing food and drink with, friends or family. And I think people are just really ecstatic to see that coming back into their lives.
Emma, you switched, as so many restaurants did across the country, to takeout. Did you hear from some of your former indoor clients? What sort of things were they saying to you?
Well, everybody's of course very excited to get back to being served and feeling the hospitality and the warmth of what we do here, and that's kind of it. Again, it is the same kind of thing. It's like the end. It feels like we're getting very close to the end of this.
Emma, I'm curious about, in terms of getting food and also of rehiring staff, how challenging has that been?
I mean, it was already challenging before the pandemic. There's has been a shortage of cooks for a few years, and because of the pandemic, a lot of people have kind of reevaluated what they want to do with their lives, and so there are even fewer still now. We're opening our first night, and I have a guy doing a trial tonight. Hopefully we can hire him. And yeah, we have a lot of new staff here. But everybody's really excited to get back to it. That really is it.
Yeah, and what about Matthew dealing with the job market in Vancouver? How's that been?
We've been fortunate because we've had patios open here sort of throughout. So we're not really starting from scratch. But it's certainly tightening up. If you look on any job posting now, just about every restaurant in the city's looking for staff. So a lot of green people in our restaurants, but I think customers are patient.
Listen, this is a time to look forward and be optimistic, but I do want to ask each of you a question about looking back. And Matthew, even though you've had patios open throughout, or for the most part. It's been tough, I assume, financially.
Yeah, absolutely. It was something that was so unforeseeable, so acute, and really so severe in terms of any sort of volatility you'd ever expect sort of pre-pandemic. We've basically been operating at a loss for about a year, scraping by on government subsidies. We're certainly not out of the woods yet, as relieving as it is to see indoor dining. We've got loans to pay back and a whole number of deferred losses, deferred maintenance, the rest of it. So I think, we're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, but there's still a long way to go for us, and I think for many restaurants in our sector.
And Emma, what about for you from a financial standpoint?
Yeah, I mean, kind of the same thing. I feel very fortunate to have been able to have access to the subsidies from Canada. They got us through. We would not have been able to be open if we didn't have them. We wouldn't have been making enough money at all. So it's fantastic that we had access to that. And, slowly but surely we'll get back into it and back together with everybody's so enthusiastic to come back. I don't see us filling tables as being a problem.
It is still May, but I hope you have a safe and lucrative summer. Thanks for speaking with us.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Next, Destiny's Child singer Michelle Williams opens up about her struggle with depression.
You just feel like you're just swimming in a sea of darkness.
From her sudden skyrocket to fame to her road to recovery, why she's determined to share her story. Welcome back. It's been more than 20 years since Destiny's Child redefined popular music and perceptions about Black women in the entertainment world. But as key member Michelle Williams shared in a recent conversation with Q host Tom Power, that success came with a lot of pain.
I can't begin to tell you how huge this song was when it came out in the year 2000. Independent women dominated the charts, transformed Destiny's Child into a supergroup. Michelle Williams, who just joined the group, went from an everyday college student to a celebrity, practically overnight.
Let me cater to you, 'cause you're beautiful. I love the way you are.
Michelle's career instantly took off, a household name the world over, but in the middle of it all, she was struggling with depression and anxiety. It's a battle that Williams writes about in her new memoir, Checking In. I recently caught up with Michelle Williams to talk about it. Now, just a heads up, we're going to talk about some sensitive topics, specifically thoughts of suicide. I want to talk about the book. Tell me why now to tell this story.
Ooh, well, I wanted to help give people something to identify and say, oh, that's what it is. That's what I've been feeling, because I didn't have words for it in the 7th grade of what to put to it. I didn't have words for it until I was in my 30s. I was like, maybe I can tell people what I'd been going through that can maybe accelerate their plan of action.
It's one thing to be struggling and, be home on the couch. It's another thing to be struggling and have the world staring at you for the first time in your life. And I want to tell a little bit of that story. So you joined the group in 2000 after 2 of its founding members left the group. It really does change for you overnight. And I think it's important to establish that before we talk about what happens after. What do you remember about joining Destiny's Child?
I remember getting a phone call saying, hey, we'd love to meet with you. So I said, okay. But my plans were to finish college. And a few weeks later go by, they're like, hey, do you think you can get to LA to film the video for Say My Name? So I was like, what am I gonna do? Well, I got on the plane and went to LA.
No one is around you. Baby, I love you. Come and run and play. Say my name, say my name. Boy, say my name.
And it was like, poof, there's a new member in Destiny's Child. And Say My Name was the beginning of a whole new life for me.
A whole new life of award shows, of interviews, of touring the world, of the stuff that people dream of. Yeah. How were you managing mentally during all that?
I was moving so quick, I didn't have time to be depressed. There was no time for depression. Depression was not on the itinerary.
When did it start creeping back in?
Now, it did creep back in maybe within my 2nd or 3rd year in the group, I believe. And I remember going to our manager at the time and I said, I think this is depression. I think I'm depressed. I was in a pit and I had to just step by step climb out of it, whatever you call it, or friends got a rope, and I credit my tribe of pulling me through as well.
What does that feel like when you're in the pit?
I talk about it in the book where it's like you just feel like you're just swimming in a sea of darkness. You feel hopeless. I was a little too comfortable with the thoughts of even suicide, I go into detail more in the book of the plans that I made should that happen,
It's terrifying.
Yeah, it was pretty scary. And it's something that family and friends did not enjoy hearing.
In 2018, you end up checking yourself into a treatment center. And what you decided to do when you did that was you released a statement about why that was happening. Why was it important for you to be public about it?
Oh, I didn't want to be public about it.
Really?
What happened was, while in the treatment center, I believe it was someone from TMZ wanting confirmation that I was in fact in the hospital. I didn't want it to come out at all. I don't even think I told my parents. I hadn't told family and close friends what was going on. People found out when the statement went out. It wasn't for people to know at the time. I eventually would have shared it because I've been talking about the area of mental health since 2012. So it's not something that I've been shy about talking about. But that particular moment, I was like, wait, I'll talk about this one day. And that one day ended up being the very same week that I'm in the hospital.
It dehumanizes you. It keeps you from, because you're a public figure, that you are not experiencing the same grief and sadness and depression and anxiety that any of us can feel.
Absolutely, because, you know, at any other job, you wouldn't put it in the corporation's newsletter that so-and-so sought treatment. They're getting help for an addiction or a mental illness. That wouldn't happen. It would not happen at all.
What do you think you've learned in writing this story down and telling it?
That is like, girl, you are brave to get out here and do this, to take a risk of maybe people seeing you differently. At this point, I don't care. People have seen me in all type of different ways. Like I said, I've lived a great life. I've had a blast, but you know, sometimes you do evolve into a new purpose or a new calling. And I believe this is what it is for me right now.
Michelle, joining an already established group, getting ready for that kind of criticism, playing the biggest stages on earth, dealing with mental illness, speaking openly about it. The only word that came to mind as I was reading your book was courage, was
Wow.
bravery. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Lovely to meet you, Michelle.
You too. Take care.
If you are struggling with depression or suicidal thoughts, there are people ready to help. Contact the Canada Suicide Prevention Service day or night, or call the Kids Help Phone 24 hours a day. Something is missing off the coast of Newfoundland this spring.
It's a little disappointing that the icebergs aren't coming in this year.
Will the natural wonders return? That is next on The National.
This free app brings you the news you want. Get the free CBC News app today.
Climate change is endangering an iconic symbol of spring in Newfoundland and Labrador. Well into the typical iceberg season, no sight of them yet. And as Chris O'Neill Yates reports, some experts predict that this year there may be none at all.
This is usually a reliable sign that spring has arrived in Newfoundland. But this year, the icebergs that usually make the journey to these shores are nowhere to be seen.
We would have maybe count around 50 icebergs. On some higher years, we'd have over 100 icebergs along the northeast coast of Newfoundland. And this year, we don't have any at all.
And Ross blames climate change. Normally, as icebergs move south, they're nestled in sea ice. But this year, with warm ocean temperatures in the north, there was no sea ice to preserve them. So the bergs broke apart and melted off Labrador. Intense winds blew the few that did survive far offshore.
It is a very, very much a checklist item that people want to do when they come to Newfoundland and Labrador is see an iceberg.
In 2017, this massive iceberg attracted crowds for weeks in Jill Curran's hometown, Ferryland, even making it onto a postage stamp. But the lack of bergs this year brings home the impact of climate change, says Curran.
We're seeing things that we're just used to seeing our entire lives change very much. It's a little disappointing that the icebergs aren't coming in this year.
Rhonda O'Keefe Arsenault restored the family's 18th century home to welcome tourists. She says some even call ahead to make sure they'll see an iceberg.
I've had calls from people from different parts all over the world. Actually, I had one visitor call me one day and he asked me, could I guarantee him icebergs? I said, no, we can't guarantee you icebergs.
Scientists say there will still be icebergs in years to come.
There will still be, even in a few hundred years, there'll still be some iceberg production, but it'll be much farther away from Newfoundland, and whether it could actually get it to Newfoundland, there'll be rare sightings.
So years like this, where icebergs don't make an appearance at all, will likely not be a one-off event. Chris O'Neill Yates, CBC News, Ferryland, Newfoundland.
A New Brunswick man had quite the surprise on a recent fishing expedition. It wasn't what he was hoping to reel in, but his catch is next in the moment.
This free app brings you the news you want. Get the free CBC News app today.
This was not what Matt Myers was expecting to catch on the Miramichi in New Brunswick when his fishing expedition suddenly turned into a rescue mission. Matt was out fishing for striped bass when something caught his eye, and what happened next is tonight's moment.
I was watching some splashing, and all of a sudden I looked to the side, and lo and behold, I saw this poor little, I think it was a red squirrel, and I could see that the squirrel was exhausted because it was probably about a kilometer out in the middle of the river. Thankfully, I got over to him, got the paddle to him. After a couple efforts, he did get on. He got onto the kayak. He was so exhausted, he just collapsed. Because let's not forget, even though they look kind of cute and fuzzy, they're still a wild animal. And for him to lay there, you knew how exhausted he was. Got over to the shore and then saw him scurry up on the bank, get up into a bush, and basically he collapsed at that point. I got to say, I kind of felt pretty good.
So that squirrel was, as you heard, a kilometer out from the shore in that river, and apparently the bass were attacking it, maybe because they were spawning, not clear, so, you know, was life-saving there. And I should also point out a couple of things. First of all, when you're lineup editor and anchor originally from the Maritimes, that story from New Brunswick has more than a fighting chance of getting on. And also, Matt has a conservation channel on YouTube. That's why everything was on camera. That is the National for May 28th. I hope you can join me on Sunday for Cross Country Checkup on CBC Radio at 4 Eastern, and then later that evening back here on the National. Have a good Saturday.